Recording started. All right, so let's talk about what's been kind of happening in the marketplace. Well, the ADP report came out, and it wasn't that bad. I think we've gotten expectations down enough that we're beating lowered expectations. So that's the good news. So what do I see today? Well, not a lot. I think we're waiting till I think we're going to be waiting till Friday to see anything decent. Now, what does that mean? Okay, it means a couple of things. One, we're not going to see a lot of decay out. And what do I mean by that? So let's say I throw out a SPY train. No, we'll do SPX. I don't have anything on SPX. So I throw on a SPX 1125 butterfly. We throw on the 1150, and we throw on the 1100. So I throw on an SPX 1100, 1125 butterfly. We're sitting right at the money. Now, this is saying that I'm going to get $16 a day of theta. Well, I don't know whether that's true, because if I push forward one day, you're going to notice I make money. But what if vol goes up at the same time? It comes right back out. So I could see a situation where days are passing, at least today and tomorrow, and vol goes up enough that the position itself actually doesn't make any money. Notice I've got vol up 1.2% over 2 days, and I've moved the date forward 3 days. And this is the other way to calculate this, instead of having to sit there and go through that, is to pull up our delta, gamma, and theta, and you could actually kind of see the net theta. You add up the net theta and the net vega, kind of compare them, and that will actually give you the how much vols need to go up every day to make up for theta. It's pretty simple. It's similar to working with calendar spreads. Now, on to individual names. Okay, my sources at the street are reporting that a company called Deal Reported is reporting that the deal is done on Genzyme in between $75 and $80. Whether that's something you can believe or not, you got me. All right. But I got to thinking, well, there's got to be some more interesting ways to play Genzyme than what we were just presenting yesterday. So I got to thinking, well, what about something like a risk reversal, where you collect in between? Well, then you would buy an 80 call, or you maybe sell an 80 call, because we're assuming, it sounds like that's certainly not going to get done there. And then you would maybe buy a 65 call. And then what you have on is a position I wanted to, 67. Oh, we want to get rid of. So then what you have on is a position where in between 68 and 72, you can really only lose $55. If the deal does get done, you make $700. If the deal falters, you lose $550. So, that's one interesting kind of play. If we're looking at $77, which, again, who knows, then, the 65 75 call spread is going to be too expensive. We could do, you could do a broken wing though. That would probably be a little better. Pull in 160 pace, 655, 650, and collect 20. Now, truthfully, you probably don't need the 80 call, and here's why. When vol collapses to 0, if this thing gets taken over, you're going to be in pretty good shape. You're going to make your money. So that's another idea. I don't think it's a good idea to do any of these kind of long-term deeps, some sort of synthetic. Buy-right might make sense, anything along those lines. But the key is if you're doing a deal play, all right, especially in a stock like this, if you look at Genzyme, it basically went from not trading above 60 to almost 70. So you have legitimately about $12 of downside risk on a trade. So do not, and this is really important when it comes to risk management, I would never do like the 57-72 spread or the 57-75 or anything like that because you're just got way too much downside risk. Now another trade that's kind of interesting, RIM. Boy, they are really hammering RIM. And you got to wonder, are they really going to go out of business? People still love their BlackBerries. It's still the kind of most secure data system. Now they're getting beat up with Dubai, you name it, you name it, you name it. So are there any cheap plays you could do? Let's see. The 52.50 put spread isn't bad for $1. But $7 for this straddle. That's a vertical, sorry. I'm just looking at this, like the strangle here. That's a lot of value. You've got down to 46 and up to 61. I just think that that's a lot of value on that strangle, on something that, legitimately has a good shot of ending up in the money. You've got pretty good payout here. And it would take a long time to really lose, any more than this. Now, if you wanted to protect it, you'd buy a wider strangle. Buy the 45 and maybe the 60, or maybe even the 62.5. Well, then you've got kind of a wider condor. But what I like about this condor is that, it doesn't have bad odds of winning, 45%. It's got a 45% chance of ending up in the money. And I am collecting 323, and I'm making 427. The odds on that trade, the payout on the trade is way better than the odds. Okay? If you look, what is 428 divided by 323? 132% on 45% odds is really, really good. So that would be something I would point you guys toward. On that note, do we have any questions? Any questions at all? All right. Well, on that note, I will bid you all a good day and have a great morning and good luck trading.